Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got a vowel-heavy rack. I have a scoring tile in the H, which goes nicely under the O. Do I have a bingo with this rack? I don't think I do, but let me look at the floaters. I certainly can't see a 7. Just wondering about G Hadeen. That might be good. Yes, it is. I have a bingo. Wow. Okay. And I don't think anything's going to score more than that. Well, I guess possibly a play beginning with the S or ending with it. Can't see such a word. So G Hadeen for 90. Through an E, I would have dextrans, and both of the bottom two E's work for that. Can't see any other bingos. If that's blocked, my X could go underneath the O of Jomos. However, I'm going to struggle to avoid leaving a very vowel-heavy, consonant-heavy rack leave. Hopefully my opponent will be drawn to row O, leaving one of the E's alone. But do I have a better alternative play? I think anything is going to involve using a vowel on the board. Just wondering if I have a play in column 5 ending OX. Can't see such a play. Just checking on my microphone, and it is working. I had a horror show a while ago where it was clear right from the beginning that the microphone wasn't working. But it certainly is. Great! Dextrans remains available. And this is the best spot of the two. Dextrans for 86. Pretty good. Malleted onto a D. And possibly metalled onto a D. No D available. What about the available floaters? Can't see anything with the A. What about the H? No. Okay, so I think the bingo run has ended. However, the board is quite open, so I should be able to score well with the M. My M can go above UM and also above the A of dextrans, so I could play male in column 8. Opponent's just gone there. Has he provided any useful floaters? I don't think so. So what I'm looking to do is score well and leave a decent rack leave. How can I do that? And I'd like to split up the duplicates. So I could play Elm, leaving late. Let me see what that looks like. 24 points with a decent rack leave. Can I do better than that? Now, what about a play in column 5? Running down here, making an X play, so Max, for example. That would leave double E and double L on my rack. 35 points, 11 more points. I think late is a good rack leave and worth sacrificing those points for. I hope I'm not missing a bingo here, just looking at this floating S. I have the telly prefix with LME. Well, I'm not seeing anything. This doesn't feel great, but I'm going with it. Tabbouleh onto a Y, no Y available. Can't see any other bingos. Well, I was just thinking how I could play box, but my opponent has taken that with Talak. Really, I could do with just getting rid of the tiles I picked up. B-double-O. Checking the K in case I have anything through that, can't see anything. And this triple word square, the bottom left, has remained available for a while. So I could play Boon. It's only 18 points, but I'm just not seeing anything better. I certainly want to play off at least one of my O's, so I can't really play in row J and achieve that. And the options for playing the O elsewhere seem to me to be quite limited. I don't have anything in row N running from the C to the double word square. So I'm going with Boon. Quite a nice rack, but this doesn't feel like it is close to a bingo, despite it being balanced and having fairly bingo-y tiles. I think the F and G combination is fairly killing in terms of bingo prospects. I note that row N is quite hot for an H going underneath the S. And there's still one H to come. And still both blanks. I have an 80 or 90 point lead, so vulnerable to opponent bingoing. I'm wondering if I can get my F tripled above the A of Talak twice, and I don't think I can. I've got just slightly too many consonants here, and they don't go particularly well together, even though GL, R and T are all bingo-y to some extent. Opponent taking a while with this play. So at the moment I have no candidate plays. Opponent plays Vigil. Does that help? The I looks like it helps a bit, but I can't see a bingo. So I could play Flagger. And this turns over tiles to increase my chances of drawing one of the blanks. The F not particularly dangerous in column 1. I could live to regret that. 32 points, a decent score. I'm going with this. Great. I draw a blank. I also draw the Z. I have no duplicates. This looks good. Howitzer through an H or an E. Neither available. Not too many floaters on this board. Where can my Z play? I can certainly play above the A of Talak, but can it play twice in that spot? I don't think it can. So where else for my Z? What about above the O of Boon? No, ZOE not good. What about above the A of Flagger? No. If opponent doesn't take column 1, I've got Fritz, which does leave the W. Whiz is good, which would enable me to get rid of the W and the Z. And with a blank, I'm anxious to get rid of my non-bingo-y tiles. I can't see a play in column 2 getting the Z tripled unless I burn the blank as an A for Waltz. I could also burn the blank as a Y for Frowsy in column 1. I would have Zowie onto an E. I could play Zitz onto the S. My lead is 100 points, which is quite good, but still 40 tiles to come. My Fritz play has been taken. Now, what I can do is play Waz. Is that good with one Z? Probably ought to know the threes. Yes. it is good. So it gets rid of my 2 problem tiles. The rack lever is great. It scores 30 points, so it's all good. I'm going with this. Great, I am surely bingoing with this rack. Do I have a bingo beginning with K? I don't think I do. So the first thing to do is find a bingo. So I have Royster in column 10 and Unors. That doesn't even get doubled. So are there any double word plays or higher? Column 1 ending in B. Can't see anything there. I've considered the K. I guess the C and the P, but any such play would open up column 15. And, well, my lead is still only 100 points. So certainly a triple-triple would probably put my opponent in front. If there were no other bingo, I certainly would play in that spot, but as it stands, I have Royster in column 10. Now, how about a play in row I? Not seeing anything. Column 8 available for a play ending AS something. So ASE, I guess, is the most likely, but then an S would have to be in 4th place, which would be the blank, which is quite a specific set of requirements, and not surprisingly I can't see something. So what about row F, running over the top of AS and U? So I have Royster in that spot as well. That stops 1 square short of column 15. So what about a play in row F which doesn't take a hook at the end? So I have Rortia. That might be the play. Although that provides a lot of floaters. The nice thing about Roysters and Unors is that all the floaters at the top are obstructed by flagger. And the E and the R would be in a very specific position at the bottom. So I still like Royster. The floaters, were I to play Rortia in row F, would be wide open and therefore useful for my opponent. And there's still a blank out there in the wild. And the remaining tile's pretty bingo-y with quite a few E's and a couple of S's, R's, T's and N's. However, plenty of potential for an unbalanced rack with the multiple vowels. I note for future reference that unifying is available as an extension to unify in column 1. What else is there to consider? So what about a play above flagger? So I have Orbiter. Again, sticking some tiles out in the open, but not as many as Rortia. And the play is getting doubled. Okay, 25 points for my opponent. And he's now provided a double-double lane, which I can take advantage of with Rortia. That places a vowel next to the triple letter square. Is there a play which doesn't do that? So Orbiter works, but that places an I next to this double letter square. Let me just see what I can see. I've got 14 minutes on my clock, so plenty of time. That's Orbiter and re-orbit. Can't end in a T. That's Dortia. Still not seeing anything. I could be missing some. That looks potentially good. Rutia, possibly. Portia. Hero doesn't work. Pre-riot doesn't work. That's Rortia. That's Royster. That's I was going to say Viatot, but I don't have the tiles for that. Okay, so I'm going with Rortia for 80. Pretty good, that looks close to a bingo. Not too many bingo lanes on this board now. Just 22 tiles in the bag. So there's the floating R of Rortia. I've got the FUL ending. I've got fluted as a 7. My F doesn't go on this triple letter square to the left of the O of Rortia. What about a play beginning with the H? So I have hefted. Dreadful rack leap of U and L, but no U's to come. And no L's. And it burns a lot of tiles, and it scores well. I've got a 150 point lead, so I'm in a very strong position now. So hefted's going to be maybe 40 or 50 points. 51 points. And I can't see any alternative plays in the bottom right. Can't see anything great beginning with the T of Rortia. Through an N, I would have Defluent and Fluented. And 2 N's to come, so maybe my opponent will play across from the T of Rortia, providing one. Probably not. My F can go after OR. But I can't see a play ending with D. Although there are no U's to come, it would still be preferable to get rid of it because it does hamper not only bingos but scoring potential. Still can't find a way to get this triple letter square above the A utilised twice. Eight minutes on my opponent's clock. Only an E can go to the right of the R, so I do have fluted in column 12. And although the F is not particularly dangerous in row A, I still hesitate to provide my opponent with the only possibility of winning the game, which is probably a triple-triple. But it's 33 points. So I might do that if hefted is blocked. FL and U not massively useful floaters. And the D would take out this triple letter square to be used by the W, although the Y would still play there. So what else have I not considered? My opponent taking a while possibly has the blank on their rack. Well, they played it for 10, so both of my candidate moves are available. I'm going with this one, hefted for 51. Not great, but no duplicates. The V and the U together, really not good, and even worse with the W. But my lead is now nearly 200 points, which is good. And 15 tiles to come, and they are very bingo-y. Almost nothing non-bingo-y amongst them, and my opponent's play of ID for a low score suggests a pretty good 5-letter keep, and now there's a pretty good 7-letter lane in column 13, which fluted would have blocked, but if my opponent's got a really good 5-letter set, possibly including the blank, I'm not sure. That is the play, over hefted. Even if my opponent bingos in column 15, it's not a triple-triple. So, how can I sort this rack out? And it's going to be difficult to play off 2 of U, V and W, and probably impossible to play off all 3 of them. So I may be reduced to keeping 2 of them, which would be irksome. Now I know that yes is good, might be useful in future. The best I can do with this triple letter square is law, keeping vis u. Might be worth doing, the score is good. Well, I can play vor in that spot. I think that is the play. V-A-W. Just 4 minutes on my opponent's clock, and I've got plenty of time. I don't particularly need to play quickly, but if you can see the move which you're happy with and you're pretty sure is the best, there's no reason to tarry. TI not particularly useful as the beginning of a 5-letter word. Now, if my vor spot is blocked, I could play value in column 14, which has the benefit of taking out all of the bingo lanes onto hefted. It doesn't get the V tripled. Okay, so opponent does bingo, and now there are 8 tiles in the bag. So my vor spot still available in column 10. Nothing new provided. Vor for 32. Pretty good. Unseelie onto an E. But Tig has blocked that in column 14. Can't see anything onto the D. The remaining tiles still somewhat bingo-y, but slightly vowel heavy. 7 vowels out of 12. And the consonants include Y, P and G, not massively bingo-y. I have no scoring tiles. Wow, I'm just the G away from unifying. Still considering this D to see if I have a bingo onto it, but I can't see such a play. So what about the floating R of rioting? Not seeing anything. Now I have venules. Is that blocked? Yes, it is. That's a shame. I thought for one moment that it wasn't. But the R of rioting does block it. Just triple checking that. Now I have the S for making flaggers. So I could play Luns. Where's opponent played? Ah, finally that triple letter square gets used twice. 3 tiles in the bag. I see no point in playing off 2 and leaving 1 in the bag. Or do I? I don't think so, because I can get a much bigger score like this. 29 points. Let me do something about the vowels and consonants. Still 29 points, but a better rack leave. Yules for 29. And, wow, opponent does have a pretty good 7-letter set. I can't see anything onto the D, or onto the E, or onto the B, and I think that exhausts the floaters on the board. So my scoring tile, the Y, can I get that doubled? I can play Nigh and Nigh. I think I'm going to have just one more play. My opponent really ought to be able to go out in 2 with this rack. So I will have one shot. And I'm 28 points away from 500. Is there a 28-point play on the board? Although I think I'd require more with countback. I can't remember on this program whether it's plus minus or plus plus. I have Yeen in column 12 for 30 points. Yeah, I think that would do the job in terms of getting to 500, even with countback, regardless of the system. Can I do better than Yeen? I've also got Yeen lower down, but that scores less. Just 18 points. Opponent could well go in column 12, that's quite attractive. He could play goat in that spot. He's also got the E for making arret. So I could play AYE. That doesn't score as much as Yeen. What about a play placing my Y rather, above the E of hefted? So I could play AYE, 27 points. That doesn't get me over the 500 mark. I've got AIE on my rack. Can't see anywhere for that. Nope, and I still can't. Opponent does play in my spot, that's a shame. Do I have a play in row B, getting my Y tripled? Don't think so. What about a play in column 14? So, what about any? Only 27 points. And just look at my opponent, EIS. Are they going out with that? Surely they are. Well, SEI and ORS. So 27 for any. Can I do any better than that? Not at that spot on the board. Is there a play in row N? And I'm looking to see if I can get a vowel above the F, so something something Y. That's not going to happen. Okay, I think I give up. AYE for 27. And opponent's got 17 seconds to make their play. And they go out. And the final score, 359 to my opponent, 499 to me, a winning margin of 140 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. It was my opponent to go first. They played Jomos, could have played Jomon and retained the S. I have Jihadeen, that's the only bingo. Horrible rack for my opponent. Plays Unor. And I have Dextrans, so ridiculously good start for me. I have a 120 point lead and I'm a huge favourite to win the game with less than 1 minute elapsed on my clock. The opponent plays Pack, No bingo here. This is what I was thinking about doing, max for 35. I didn't like the clunkiness of the rack leave. So I went with elm for 24. So is the rack leave of late 11 points better than double E, double LT? I think it probably is, and I think it's probably just about that level, in which case I prefer the better rack leave. Opponent's rack. Plays Talak. Taboo, I didn't consider that in 10 and ST, but only 22 points. So I play Boon for 18 with a better rack leave. I prefer my play. Wow, look at this. Horrible, horrible rack for my opponent. Plays Vigil. And I play Flagger, and I still like that. Opponent plays Unify. Now I've just noticed I have Tausia on my rack. Does that play anywhere? Have I missed a bingo? It does play F8. Tars and OU. Wow, what a miss. Tausia. Okay, well done if you spotted that. I played Waz for 30. 53 fewer points. However, I think those plays are going to be within 20 points of each other. The rack leave after Waz is IORT blank, which must be worth about 40 points. So I think, although Mr. Bingos are bad, I think this one may have only cost me about 20 points in equity. Sometimes they can cost a lot more. Now it's my opponent's turn to Mr. Bingo. They play Borsch. And I have a choice of double doubles. And this partly demonstrates just how strong a rack leave I kept. Opponent's rack. Wow, I was waiting to see Nitride crop up somewhere, but it doesn't play. Plays Id. So opponent played Id from this rack. Yep, keeping a super strong 5-letter set. Almost guaranteed to bingo, I think, especially with the vowels in the bag. I have hefted. Opponent has a ton of bingos, plays Rioting. Now I play Vor for 32, but I could have played my S for 15 more points. A8, Vors and Flaggers, of course, I should have done that. I play Vor. Opponent plays Hap, and now I do spot this hook, I think. Yep, so I play Yules for 29, which was the highest score. No bingo for my opponent, despite his rack. Plays Goat. Now at the end I have AYE for 27, which was the best available, except LEY D2. Having mentioned that Yes spot, there is a Yes play. Wow, I think that might have taken me to the 500 mark, so slightly annoying. But in any event, it's good to win. Opponent plays... this was opponent's out. Lies. Using that spot. Pretty good. Okay, so that was the end of the game, and an absolutely blistering start to the game with Jihadine and Dextrans. Not only were they bingos, they were high-scoring bingos, and I was a massive favourite to win the game right from the get-go. So super exciting stuff, and great to nearly hit the 500 mark. So all good stuff, and great to be putting together a string of wins. So I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.